In the heart of Lagos, where wealth and power spoke louder than morals, Princess reigned as an enigma. She was not just beautiful, she was captivating, the kind of woman men lost themselves over. Her caramel skin gleamed in the golden sunset, and her smile could melt the strongest hearts. At 24, she had learned to master the art of presence. She never rushed, never begged, she simply existed, and men gravitated toward her like moths to a flame. Among the many admirers, two men stood at the top: Ade and Mike. Ade was a 42-year-old business tycoon, a man who had built an empire from nothing. He was married with children, but boredom had long crept into his marriage. The day he saw Princess at a high-end lounge in Victoria Island, something inside him ignited. He wanted her. He spared no expense in his pursuit. Expensive gifts, lavish dinners, wads of cash, he threw everything at her feet, hoping she would fall into his arms. But Princess, though always gracious, never let him have her. Mike, 38, was a real estate mogul with a taste for luxury and women. Unlike Ade, he wasn't patient. He wanted Princess and wanted her now. He whisked her away to exotic locations within the country, paid for the best hotels, and whispered sweet promises of love. Yet, like a mirage, Princess remained just out of reach. What neither of them knew was that they were both being played in the same game. The chase. Both men, obsessed beyond reason, invited Princess to be alone with them. Ade, believing his wealth could win her, booked a penthouse suite at a 5-star hotel. He decorated it with roses, champagne, and a diamond necklace on the bed. He waited all night. Princess never came. Mike, thinking his charm was enough, arranged a secret getaway at a beach house in Lekki. He sent a luxury car to pick her up, convinced that this time, she wouldn't say no. She never even responded to his texts. Days turned into weeks, and their frustration grew. They had spent fortunes on her, yet she remained untouched. Their wives noticed their absence, their friends whispered behind their backs, but none of it mattered. Princess had become their obsession. The breaking point. One evening, Mike took Princess to an upscale restaurant in Lekki. He had reached his limit. If she wouldn't give herself to him willingly, he would take what he wanted. Over wine and candlelight, he leaned closer. "Princess," he whispered, his voice thick with desire. "I've done everything for you. Do you have any idea how much I want you?" Princess simply smiled, taking a sip of her wine. Frustrated, Mike grabbed her hand. His fingers trailed up her arm, then down to her chest. Before she could react, he squeezed her breasts roughly. The restaurant fell silent. Princess's expression turned to stone. She pushed his hand away and stood abruptly. "Don't you ever touch me like that again," she said, her voice sharp, eyes burning with fury. Mike stammered, caught between embarrassment and rage. He had spent months, millions, and endless effort. How dare she reject him after everything? But Princess was done. She picked up her purse, turned, and walked out, leaving him alone in his shame. It was that night that both Ade and Mike realized they had lost a different kind of man. After cutting ties with both men, Princess found herself unexpectedly drawn to someone different: David. David was 26, young, ambitious, and unlike the men who had chased her before, he had something they didn't: self-respect. He was a doctor, dedicated to his work and passionate about helping people. Princess met him by accident at a hospital when she visited a sick friend. Unlike Ade and Mike, he did not see her as a prize to be won. He saw her as a person. They began talking, and for the first time in her life, Princess felt something real. David didn't shower her with expensive gifts or empty promises. He made her laugh, listened to her dreams, and treated her like an equal. She found herself falling for him. Love in its purest form. One evening, David took her to a quiet spot by the Lagos lagoon. There were no expensive wines, no designer bags, just the two of them, watching the sunset. "I don't want to own you, Princess," he said softly, holding her hand. "I just want to love you." Tears pricked her eyes. No man had ever said that to her before. For years, she had been admired, desired, chased, but never loved. That night, she finally let herself go. She kissed him under the stars, knowing that this was real. With David, she had found something priceless. The fall of the obsessed men. Meanwhile, Aid and Mike faced the consequences of their actions. Their wives discovered their infidelities and walked away. Their friends lost respect for them. The millions they spent on Princess had gone to waste. They had lost everything chasing a woman they never truly had. But Princess. She had won. She had found love on her own terms. And as she walked hand in hand with David, she knew this was the love she had been waiting for all along.